Jesus loves me. Since the beginning, he loved me before I ever knew him. He loved me before I did a single thing. Loved before you could even speak, before you ever took your first step, before you ever said your first word, before anyone knew who you would become. Jesus already loved you.
Yes.
This world teaches us that love has to be earned, through performance, through success, through perfection. But God's love, it's completely different. It's not earned, it's given. From the very beginning, even before you were born, his heart was already wrapped around your story. Even in the womb, he knew your name. Before the world ever saw your face, he had already chosen you. For you created my inmost being, knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's not just poetic, that's personal. You were not an accident. You were not forgotten. You were not a number on a list. You were handmade by a loving God, and you've been loved by him since day one. A love that grew with you, never left you one. The first breath, and he was there. Imagine a newborn baby crying in the delivery room, his tiny lungs gasping for air, the world suddenly loud and cold. And right there, unseen by human eyes, was Jesus. Not far off, not passive, but present. You may not remember it, but he was the first to celebrate your arrival. The very breath that filled your lungs was breathed into you by him. Your life didn't begin with chaos, it began with divine intention. 2. Early childhood. Learning, wandering when you were small. Discovering the world with wide eyes, chasing butterflies, drawing with crayons, singing songs off-key. Jesus was there. When you fell and scraped your knees, when you cried because the toy broke, when you reached for someone to hold you, he was closer than your shadow. And as you started to wonder about the world, even before you knew how to pray, he was listening. He wasn't waiting for you to become spiritual enough. He was already loving you. Fully. 3. The first time you felt insecure. There's a moment in everyone's life. Usually when we still young. When we first feel like we not enough. Not smart enough, not cool enough, not good looking enough. That moment becomes a turning point. We start chasing approval, trying to prove we're worthy. Performing, but Jesus, he never needed proof. He didn't say, I'll love you once you get it right. He said, I've loved you all along. Even when you felt unseen, Jesus never took his eyes off you. Even when you didn't like yourself, he never stopped delighting in you. 4. Teenage years, searching, struggling, questioning. Let's be real. Growing up is messy. We all made choices we're not proud of. We pushed people away who loved us. We doubted ourselves. We doubted God. Maybe you even walked away from your faith for a while. Maybe church didn't feel real. Maybe you questioned if any of it mattered. But Jesus, he didn't walk away. He walked with you through every heartbreak, every bad decision, every sleepless night. You might not have seen him, but he was guiding you, protecting you, whispering gently, I'm still here. 5. Adulthood. Responsibilities, pressures, dreams. Now the days are fuller. You have goals, deadlines, bills, expectations. Sometimes life feels like a blur of busyness. And in all that noise, it's easy to forget how deeply loved you still are. But Jesus hasn't changed. It's the same love that held you as a baby, holds you now as you juggle a million responsibilities. He doesn't love you for what you achieve. He loves you for who you are. His 6. Jesus walked with you through every season. Let's walk through the visual you had in mind. A video starting with a newborn, growing through every stage of life. A baby in a crib, Jesus beside the bed, smiling. A child at school, Jesus sitting at the desk nearby. A teenager crying alone in a bedroom, Jesus sitting on the floor reaching out. An adult moving to a new city, Jesus already waiting in the apartment. An adult feeling overwhelmed at work, Jesus behind, placing his hand on their shoulder. He didn't show up halfway through your life. He's been there since the very beginning. 7. When you felt forgotten, he was still loving you. You might be thinking, but what about the times I was hurt? What about the times I felt abandoned? Pain can make us feel like we're unloved. But love isn't proven in comfort. It's proven in presence. Jesus didn't stop the pain, but he never left you in it. When you cried, He cried with you. When your heart broke, his heart broke too. And when you felt invisible, he was right there watching over you. Even when no one else stayed, Jesus did. You've always been his. Not because of what you've done, this is important. Jesus doesn't love you because of what you do. He loves you because of who he is. There's nothing you can do to earn more of his love, and nothing you can do to lose it. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, or anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God. Nothing. It's not your mistakes, not your doubts, not your past. You've always been his, since the beginning. And you still are. The first love that never left, there's a special kind of love that lasts. Not because it's loud, not because it's perfect, but because it's consistent. That's the love of Jesus. Maybe you've walked with him your whole life. Maybe you've walked away. Maybe you're still unsure about it all. But here's what's true. No matter where you stand today, Jesus has always loved you, since the beginning. Through every season, through every doubt, through every joy, and every heartbreak. He was there when you were born. He is here now, and he'll still be here at the very end. That's not a nice thought. That's the deepest truth you'll ever know. So if you're feeling tired, like you've lost your way or your worth, stop. Breathe. Remember, you are not starting from scratch. You are returning to the arms that have loved you all along. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Click subscribe to keep walking through the God is Speaking to You series. Hit like if you believe God is whispering in your storm. Share this with someone who needs to hear. The storm will pass, but God remains. See you in the next episode. God speaks through people. May the Lord be with you, even in the quietest moments.